Yo, 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 this is the Ask Jason question series. We do it every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then we record it and we put it on other social platforms for you to watch. And what do we do at the Ask Jason question series? Where you can send a question here, just any kind of strategic questions we'll answer about your firm growth. I mean, anything you're tackling in your firm, we'll answer it in the Ask Jason question series, or we'll try to answer it. So what we've been doing at the Ask Jason question series the past few weeks is we've been in a series on virtual firms. This is our third iteration in a 4-week journey through virtual firms. So we have a great question from Miriam. And this question is, did you start your firm with this virtual model, or did you transition? What was your first step? And I think a lot of firms that start now do start out virtually. But we actually, from 97 to 2012, is that 15 years? That's 15 years. We were a brick and mortar office, and then 2012 is when we went virtual. That's when we essentially closed our office down. We've been virtual since 2012, so that's 7 years we've been virtual, and 15 years we were a brick and mortar office, and my dad started it as a brick and mortar office in 97. So that's kind of been our journey as a firm. So we're just 7 years into it after being a brick and mortar. And, we're still learning what is a virtual model of a firm as compared to a brick and mortar, which a lot of people don't have to fight that dichotomy, because a lot of firm owners now, or some, not a lot, but some start as a virtual model. And if you start as a virtual model, your clients don't know any different. And you don't know any different, and your team possibly doesn't know any different unless they've been at another brick and mortar firm. So the journey is different for a firm that's been brick and mortar and becomes virtual. So this question from Miriam, did you start your firm with this virtual model, or did you transition, is a good one. We did transition, and that's a completely different model. And she asks, what was your first step? So really, if you're in a brick and mortar firm, that's all you know. So the first step is really realizing, wait, I think I can run this firm without an office. That was an odd concept, probably in 2010 or 11 when we first started thinking about it. And probably the first step was to realize we could do it. We could realize that could happen. Now, I didn't anticipate the need of the cloud, and we ran into some bumps trying to provide some of the cloud technology we needed. But the first step was just realizing it. And then what we had to do is start telling the clients. And that was a big deal. Letting them know that this virtual model was coming up was a big deal. And the reason why is because the clients pay us. And if you go virtual, let's say you have a brick and mortar firm right now and you decide to go virtual tomorrow. You actually know who's not going to go virtual with you, right? A whole list of your clients are not going to go with you. And that's a big deal, right? Because they're your cash flow. So the next thing after realizing we could become a virtual firm was actually realizing we have to notify our clients in some intentional way to let them know. And so we took about a year letting them know we're going to close the doors on a certain date. And then what we knew is a whole group weren't going to come, so we packaged up a whole group of clients, typically tax clients, because they typically won't go virtual if they've been brick and mortar. They'll stay with you if they've always been virtual. But if they come as a brick and mortar, that's the model they want because they came under that model. So we knew a group that weren't going to transition virtually. We packaged them up and sold them to a local firm. And at that point, we made a commitment to start serving virtually, which kind of for us automatically means we could serve nationally. We could serve anywhere. So geography and zip codes no longer became a guide or a restriction to us in the way that we served. So Miriam, that's a great question. What was your first step in transitioning from a brick and mortar firm? Was actually realizing we could do it, realizing the group of clients that would not go with us. And the third one, and this is the last one I'll talk about, was actually closing the office. There were some processes and transitions to that, closing the office. And then when you do that, that's such a big one, you essentially disappear to your clients. You no longer exist. You do exist virtually. You do disappear. You are not, in a sense, a human anymore in their life. So everything in a virtual model automatically becomes super intentional, very intentional. All processes must be designed in very intentional orders. There's no nuance in realizing humans and how they interact with each other in a space. If they come visit your office, there's none of that. Everything has to become super intentional at that time. So, and you know what? We bumped through that for a few years. We didn't realize the need for such intention, not only with our clients who were virtual, but our team as well. They also disappeared. We all disappeared, which probably was a goal of mine, right? To just go home and work virtually, disappear, so to speak. But that has effects on a group of clients, and it has effects on a group of team. And you just have to realize what you're doing. But that's only in the transition. If you start out as a virtual firm, it's probably not as big a deal. You still have to be intentional with your processes. You still have to lead clients in very intentional ways for them to feel that comfort and things like that in a virtual model. But that's kind of the story of our transition into a virtual model and how we work now. So I hope this series in virtual firms is helping you understand what does it really take to be a virtual firm. Do I want to be a virtual firm? Not everybody should be a virtual firm. Brick and mortar firm does hold you to a certain geography unless you're consulting and you may travel. A lot of times consultants travel, and that's fine. But if you want to just serve nationally, just know to your current group of clients, you're going to disappear if they're already in a brick and mortar firm as you transition. So just keep those things in mind. And if you have any more questions on virtual, just shoot them to info@thriveal.com, and we'll try to answer those on a future Ask Jason question series. So thanks for hanging out with us on the Ask Jason question series. Let us know if you need anything else, and we'll check you later. Bye-bye.